Okay, today just I said no, we are trying to discuss only leftover topics in the first half of the fifth unit. I think first let me discuss on the unions, which is need only 2 or 3 slides, not more than that. Then followed by we will discuss on the enumerated data types. Okay, so let me start with the union. Okay. So you're able to see this. You want me to make full screen or it is okay? Respond.
Full screen, sir.
Yeah, because no people are keep on coming. So here. So coming to the unions, we have similar to the structures only, but only thing is every member is going to occupy the same region of the memory. So we'll see what exactly it means. Suppose the structures members are and together. So name and species and owner, something like that. So let me take an example here. Union, instead of a structure, we give a predefined or reserved word, I should say. Union space value, then float f, then int I, then char star s. So as per the structure, how many bytes it is going to be allocated? Can anybody respond? Yesterday we discussed no structures. The members are 3 and they have float, int, and char. Can anybody tell how many bytes are going to be allocated here? Respond.
9.
9, because float is 4, then int I is 4, and char star is how many bytes? The pointer.
Pointer 1.
Yeah, pointer take how many bytes?
1.
Pointer take how many bytes? 4 bytes, I said. No, irrespective of the type of the pointer, even though the char star is never get confused. It is not a character, it is a pointer to the character. So pointer holds the memory address, so address needs at least 4 bytes. So I must say that total 12 bytes actually needed if it is a structure. But coming to the union, among the float, int, and char star, what is the maximum size of the individual members? All are 4 only,
4.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So by any means, you have something like double, then float, int, char. So out of the 4, which one is higher? Double is higher. So the amount of memory allocated to the union will be equal to the memory occupied by the highest member of that. So it indicates that the double needs 8 bytes of memory. So 8 bytes of memory only used as a float. Same 8 bytes will be used as an integer. Same 8 bytes will be used as again 4 bytes for holding the pointer. So it is something that at a time you can access only one value from the union. Multiple values accessing is not possible. So then everybody can have what is the use of having different data types when you are able to access only one particular thing. So it is something like when you wanted to use temporary variables in between the program, some of the operation related to the character, some of the operation related to the integers, some of the operation related to some other data type. So in all those operations, if any temporary results you wanted to store, it all depends on what type of data you are trying to save as a temporary variable. So the temporary variable must declare to that particular type. So if there are 4 or 5 different places where you wanted to have a temporary variable of a different data types, then you are supposed to declare all 5 different temporary variables. So we are going to waste lot of memory only for the temporary purpose. So to avoid that kind of multiple places where different data types are needed, so union is a solution. So when you use a union space value, so by using the variable related to the union, the same variable can act as a temporary variable for the integer. Same variable can be act as a temporary variable for the float. It means it's the behavior is going to change based on the need of the operation you perform. So that is an advantage. So whenever you wanted to have temporary storage need with a different data types, so instead of declaring so many different data types as a temporary variable, you can use only one union which will contain all the possible different data types. So based on the need, only same memory location can be reused. That is an advantage. Okay, so is that clear to all of you? Is it clear? Respond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
so if you look at here, up to programmer to determine how to interpret a union, that is which member to access, often used in conjunction with a variable type, and indicates how to interpret the union value. So here some of the example, I think enum have not discussed, so you may not understand this example. So coming to the information, I will discuss enums again, then I'll come back to this particular the slide. So size of the union is the size of the largest member, just now I mentioned, and avoids unions widely varying the member sizes. Then for the larger data types, consider using pointers instead of any other value. Okay, coming to the initialization, union may only be initialized to a value appropriate for the type of its first member. So you cannot suppose we have integer, float, and character. If you want to initialize at the beginning, only integer can be initialized. You cannot initialize float, and because the same memory location can be reused for the float and character. So if at all you wanted to initialize only the first data type only is possible. So possibly I'll take one an example afterwards, but very simple. It is similar to the structure usage point of view. Again, dot operator we are supposed to use to access the member. Just a minute, somebody is waiting. Okay. So it is not much different from the structures. Everything is same, except the memory size is reused for all the members of the union. And the reserved word, instead of a struct, we use union as a reserved word. And coming to the pointer usage, an array of unions. Array of unions is not required. Only single union variable is required. And so it is used basically very rarely used in programs, but if at all there is a need, better we go for this particular type of data type. So next topic is called enumerated data types. You can see here the shortcut name keyword in the C programming is for enum, generally called enums or enumerated data types. So it is something like you can have your own name for the data type. Unlike structures and unions will have a specified the meaning. Structure can combine the dissimilar data types, where you must use struct space followed by some particular the name of the structure. But coming to the enums, you can create your own user defined data types. So it is given here, invent your own data types, define what values of the variables of this data type can take. So not only you can define your own data type, and also you can decide what all possible values those data types can accept. So that is second point. The third point is the main purpose of the enumerated data types is to allow numbers to be replaced by the words. So it is something like if I ask somebody the day 3 is comfortable or Wednesday is comfortable, in terms of if I ask somebody to submit as an assignment, which one is easy to remember? Day 3 is better or Wednesday is better?
Wednesday.
Wednesdays.
Means something you wanted to convey the information. Most of the time the numbers are readed, but instead of numbers, if you give a meaning to that number, it will be more readability and understandability. So in that concept, you can say that the main purpose of the enumerated data type is to allow the numbers to be replaced by the words. That is more important. So every week has 0 to 6. So 0 is a Sunday, 1 is Monday, something like that. So instead of using 0 to 6, you can use simply the names. So I can have a data type called day of a week. Just a minute. Yeah. So there are three things you must remember about the enumerated data types. One is you can have your own data type. Second one is you can decide what values those data type can accept. Third one is in place of the numbers, always it is preferable to use the number names or words. So we always prefer to use a enumerated data type. So these three things are basic no understanding about the enumerated. So coming to the usage syntax point of view. So here it is given that enum is a keyword which you are supposed to use, then followed by similar to the structure or union, you can use same syntax enum space any name you can give. I said the user defined data type. Then you can simply keep some kind of list identifier underscore list. Then at the time of declaring the variable, you can simply have a enum underscore type. Actually it is not enum underscore type is a actually user defined data type. Now onwards you can simply use enum underscore type is equal to maybe a b c d something like that. So a b c d belongs to the enum underscore type. That is how you can use. So here in the right hand side there's an example is given. We know that boolean will have only two possibilities, either true or a false. So whenever you wanted to use true or false condition in your program, simply you can use enum type. So you can write b1 comma b2 are the variables which are related to the enum boolean. So here let me give one more way of having the syntax assigning the numbers. If you don't assign any number true comma false, automatically the number 0 will be assigned to the true and 1 will be assigned to the false. So instead of using the number 0 and 1 everywhere in the program, you can replace with the true and false, provided the b1 and b2 will be used in place of variables which are called enum variables. Now coming to the another way of having the syntaxes is means wantedly you can just assign or define true is nothing but 0 and false is nothing but 1. Basically we follow 0 means success and 1 means unsuccessful computers point of view. But here generally in boolean point of view, 0 indicates false and true indicates 1. So here you can interchange, there's nothing like that. But if you define this way, 0 will act as a true now onwards and false will act as a 1. Actually generally we use the reverse way. So the thing is, if the no integer values are specified, then the leftmost word has the integer value 0 and each one after that is incremented by 1 from that point. So if we have a something like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, like that, to keep on add. So automatically Sunday will be assigned with the number 0, Monday will be assigned with the number 1. So like that up to Saturday it will be of 6 value. So this also means that the leftmost word is generally the smallest and the rightmost word is generally the largest in terms of the number assignment. So here is one more example, whatever we have seen in the previous slide. The in this example, the user defined data type will be the boolean in a capital letters, and the new data type has two values which are possible, either true or false. It can accept. The word true has an integer value 0, and the word false has an integer value 1. So I think very beginning slide I said one is you can have your own data type. So as per the left hand side the syntax declaration, the user defined data type is a boolean. Then what all possible values you can assign to that data type is only two possible values, either true or a false. Then finally in the usage, the values which can the variable related to the enums can have either true or a false. So that is called b1 comma b2. So the some more examples I said weekdays, right? So if you want Monday onwards, we don't want Sunday because we generally don't assign any work on Sunday. It indicates that I just wanted to define weekdays, not weekend actually. So weekdays means only 5 days, Monday to Friday. So here you can see if I do not assign Monday is equal to 1, default Monday will be taking as the 0, then Tuesday will be 1 and Wednesday will be 2, and then followed by Thursday and Friday 3 and 4. So not to have that kind of relation, always you try to define the first no word which is Monday is equal to 1. So automatically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be incremented one by one. So it indicates that Tuesday will become 2, then Wednesday will become 3, Thursday is becoming 4, and Friday is becoming this one. The alternative here you can see, the moment I say Monday is equal to 1, Tuesday is not defined. Just a minute. Yeah, so coming to the right hand side, if you look at, I think I'm audible. Yeah, am I audible or not? Respond.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Coming to the right hand side, we have the other way of defining the words. So Monday is equal to 1, Tuesday automatically becomes a 2, and the moment you assign Wednesday is equal to 6, Thursday and Friday automatically become 7 and 8. So if at all, default values will be right from the first two, remaining things will be incremented. By any means, if you define the middle one, then up to middle one, the previous first defined value is a reference to increment, and from middle onwards, that will become the reference to increment the subsequent things. So here in this example, Monday is equal to 1, Tuesday is equal to 2, and whereas Wednesday is equal to 6, which we are wantedly assigned, then Thursday and Friday will take automatically 7 and 8. So that is how it is going to work. So here you can see the guessing the output, something like that. So here example of using enumerated data types. So where we have enum definition, enum space weekdays is the data type, or directly we are trying to take. Then within that weekdays, we have defined Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday up to Sunday. All days we have then days will be your data type actually. So coming to here int I, then for I is equal to, so instead of using 1 to 7 or 1 to 5, you can simply use I is equal to Monday colon, then I less than or is equal to Friday, then I plus U, because internally they are numbers. Even though we are writing as a programming the words in the for loop, internally they are represented by numbers. So printf backslash n percentile d, so I will print first 0, then print 1, 2, 3 up to Friday. So total 0 to 4 is going to be printed. So this is how generally we use enumerated data types. Now the second thing, if you are typing 32767, so the thing is, the enumerated data type cannot have two large numbers. So here you can see the error there, numeric constants too large. So always try to represent in terms of digits, okay, not even not more than 2 digits. Just a minute, somebody is waiting. So here enum weekday, same thing, only thing is the starting number 32766 is when you are assigned, then it will throw an error. What will be the output it is showing? So compiler throws an error. The reason is the numeric constant too large to represent it. The other way also, you can say that generally negative numbers also you can assign, but avoid using the large numbers. Now if I'm using 32762, still same, because I said no, not 2 or 3 digits you can use maximum. Largest, it all depends on the compiler dependence again. Some compilers will accept up to 2 digits, some compilers will accept up to 3 digits. So you have to again see to it which compiler is supporting up to what length of the or maximum number you can assign to a enum words. Now here see, the reason is very simple. Up to 32766 it is accepting. As I said, if you apply Monday is equal to 32760, Tuesday is going to print 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. 67, basically the last number is the largest in terms of the integer, 16 bits. But again, you cannot simply based on that you cannot decide it is accepting or not. So it's a compiler dependent. Generally we don't use such higher numbers, we use only in terms of if you take months as a reference, maximum 12, weekdays as a reference, maximum 7, maybe colors, rainbow colors, maybe 7, something like that, related to some simple things where the different varieties not more than 10 or 20. So in that case enums are more suitable, but higher number generally we don't use. Then this is one more negative, right? As I said, negative also acceptable. When you assign Monday is equal to -1, so automatically Tuesday will be 0. Wednesday to Sunday, it will be subsequently incrementing the values. So you have an option assigning the value negative also for the enum data types. Then type definitions, I think already I have discussed long back, if I'm right. Did I discuss type definitions? Just respond. Did I discuss type definitions?
Sir, you
Respond.
discussed in the starting class, sir.
Type def, no?
Yes, sir.
No, typecasting is different, type definition is different. I think I discussed typecasting, not type definitions. Okay, so you try to remember what is the type definition. Typecasting is you are trying to change the what is that data type of a other variable to some other data type only in that particular moment, only in that particular statement. That's called typecasting. Coming to the type definition, you wanted to assign some other name to the standard data types. So somebody feels no, int may not be convenient for them to remember it is an integer. So if at all you wanted to use integer variable, simply you can use it is a small letter, not capital T, it's a small t, even though in the PPT it is given as a capital T. Try to remember. On the left hand side, it is written that type def should be a keyword. We should use space, then existing data type, which is written in the blue color, followed by the new user defined data type. Means internally the functionality of the data type remains same, but the calling the data type is different. It is something like in the class, if somebody becomes a class representative, so class representative is a type definition for the actual name of that particular student. So teacher always calls that particular student with class representative only instead of a name. So the actual person is same. Name is also having, somebody calls with same name or somebody calls as a class representative, the same person is going to be responded to, something like that. The type definition statement is used to allow user defined data types to be defined, but not user defined names only, actually not, I should say, defined data types. It is a only the names, user defined names to be defined using the already available data types. Okay, last statement is more important. Already available data types only you can use the type definitions, not new things. So type def space int space then integer. So now onwards, wherever you want to declare integers, you can write complete name integer space a comma b. So a and b belongs to the integer variable, something like that you can have. Generally, where do we use is in the beginning classes I said we have a different types of compilers. There is some compiler called Turbo C. The Turbo C is a C Windows supporting compiler in which integer takes only 16 bits, whereas your GCC compiler and Dev C++ compiler integer is taking 32 bits. Yes or no? Respond. Is it not? GCC compiler in the laboratory as well as Dev C++ integer is how many bytes? Respond. 4 bytes. Yeah, 32 bits. So suppose you are writing you are developing a code in your Dev C++ compiler. It might be of 4 bytes. Suddenly the program is copied by your friend and he wanted to execute in his computer where Turbo C was installed. Do you think the program will compatible? Is the program is compatible to execute on a Turbo C compiler where you have developed the program in Dev C++? By any means in your computer, because it is taking 4 bytes and somewhere in the calculations it is exceeding 16 bytes 16 bits result, and same thing if you run on the Turbo C where integer is only 16 bits, definitely there is a error in that, is it not? Yes. In your computer works perfectly, but other computer where Turbo C is installed, it won't work perfectly. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So in that case, generally, when you wanted to really give your program to somebody, never use a standard data type. Always mention your compiler supports how many. So something like type def int space maybe int 32. So it means in my program, wherever I'm using integer, it belongs to 32 bits. So if you give to somebody, okay, they will understand. If it is like 32, what they do is they simply in their compiler they type def long int. Then they use int 32. So I think both are same only, isn't it? But Turbo C long integer is equal to 4 bytes, whereas the Dev C++ the integer is 4 bytes. Now, don't you think the program becomes compatible now? Yes or no? Respond. Always mention instead of int 32. So that if you give your program, somebody will understand, okay, integer means 32 bits here. In their computer, if it is only 16 bits, they will type def long int with int 32 and your program becomes compatible. So that is an advantage of type definitions. So here example is very simple, syntax point of view. The example is an alternative data type name. Built-in data type is called integer, int, but we are giving the name as an integer. So how typedef is used in structures? So the reason is not only compatible in terms of compiler. The second advantage is, if at all you are trying to declare the structure variable, every time you need to write struct space, then structure name space, then variable is declared. So like 3 words I wanted to use. Instead of using 3 words, I wanted to use only 2 words. One is data type followed by the structure variable. In that case also, generally we use, here you can see the right hand side, the bottom second line, typedef space struct space student space std. So indicates that the struct space student, it is like together one word is replaced by capital std as the replacement. So now onwards, whenever you wanted to define a structure variable belongs to the student, you simply write std s1 comma s2 comma s3. So we are trying to reduce a lengthy name to a simple name by using the typedef operations. So in the above example, std is a new name for the structure. Now every time it is not required to use struct space student. Instead, you can use simply std for creating the structure variable. So bit fields, I skip it. It is not needed. If you want, you can go through it, because in the what is that interviews, if somebody will ask what is a bit field and all. Otherwise, let me just share some information about the bit fields, because until unless you write programming, you will not understand the bit fields. Okay, so I'll just give an idea about what is a bit fields. So whenever we are trying to declare an integer data type members within a structure, the integer is going to occupy 16 bits, actually 32 bits for your compiler, but this presentation is talking about the Turbo C compiler, otherwise 32 bits. Now there are occasions where data requires much less than 16 bit space, so we can overcome the wastage of the space by specifying the bit length. I'll give an example. Suppose you are declaring an integer where integer is equal to 32 bits. Can anybody tell what is the maximum value an integer can store? Anybody from the class? What is the maximum value an integer can store if it is 32 bits? Can I say it is not 2 power 32 minus 1, isn't it? Minus 1 overall. It is something like 16 bits means 2 power 15 minus 1, where 2 power 15 will be 32,768 minus 1, 32,767. Yes or no? Yeah, it is something like based on the number of bits, simply you perform 2 power number of bits minus 1. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is maximum number, correct? Suppose I just wanted to declare an integer of 32 bits. I never use more than 128. So 128 needs how many bits? 128 needs how many bits? 2 power 7 is 128, is it not?
Yes, sir. 2%.
7 bits are sufficient. So in my program, I never use a number to store the integer is maximum 128. So unnecessarily you are declaring 32 bits being an integer, and you are utilizing only the lower 7 bits. Remaining 32 minus 7, around 24. So 24 bits will never be useful in your program. To make utilization of that remaining bits, we have an option called bit fields, and bit fields option is available only in the structures, not like direct. So here that is what it is telling. There are occasions where data requires much less than 16 bit space. In our example, only 7 bits. We can overcome the wastage of the space by specifying the bit length. So the bit length specifies the number of bits that should be allotted to a member. So only for the structure it is possible. So member of a structure whose size in the bits has been specified. So here enable the better memory utilization, that is the advantage, and it has to be declared for the integer or unsigned integer only, not for floats and not for characters also. Now we wanted to access, you cannot access individual bits, but a set of bits you can use. And coming to the same address to the memory also, let me give an example here. You have a structure followed by structure name, then you have a data type, maybe some integer, followed by the name 1 is a variable. Under the name 1, you are simply writing the bit length. Means semicolon is indication to define how many bits you wanted to use. Similarly, data type, name 2, then again bit length, So like that, you can have the only the small space out of the 32 bits, how much space is really you wanted to use, so that the remaining space can be utilized for some other allocation to the some other variable. So here we are simply using follow unsigned or int member within a colon and an integer constant representing the width of the field. So let us see some examples here. Struct space employee unsigned int age colon 7. Even though I declare integer which needs 32 bits, but only 7 bits are declared, remaining 24 bits are used for some other purpose. Unsigned int gender. So again, 1 bit will be used for immediately after 7 bits. 8th bit is used for the gender. Again, immediate 1 bit will be used for marital status. Then again, immediately next to 4 bits will be used for to represent children, because 4 bits is more than sufficient to define number of children. Okay, so maximum 16 number you can store to represent number of children. And coming to the marital status, yes or no, right? 0 or 1, only 1 bit is sufficient. Then gender also only 1 letter is important. And coming to the age, I think 2 power 7 is more than sufficient. 128 is a maximum number to discuss about to somebody's age. So put together how many bits it is? 7 plus 1 8, 8 plus 1 9 plus 4 13 bits. So I hope everybody understood. Only 13 bits are allocated for this particular structure. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So bit fields, it is not given in the syllabus, but still the interview point of it will help you in the structures to avoid the wastage of huge data type. When we need only the less numbers, we always prefer to use the bit fields, which can save the lot of memory. Then here some of the example. Age needs 7 bits, so maximum 127 you can store. Gender needs only 1, so 0 or 1. Marital status also 0 or 1. Children can be maximum 15 you can have, means the representation point of view. So with this, I'll just stop here. And I think first half of the 50 unit is over. And maybe just a minute.